reaction to some of the top soccer headlines going on in the soccer world. A lot of interesting stuff coming up, especially with the Olympic soccer, but there's also some transfer rumors and all that coming up, and all that headlines in that type of time. Premier League kind of starts soon, really right after the Olympic Games. So yeah, Maresca, he was had his first opening press conference, and he defended Enzo Fernandez in terms of the chant. Enzo Maresca said Enzo Fernandez had no bad intentions with his offensive chant about the French players and their original and their nationality and all that, their country of origin and all that. You remember the midfielder after the Argentina Copa America final against Colombia was seen on Instagram Live singing an offensive song about the heritage of French players. Fernandez, he did apologize, and Chelsea initiated an internal investigation, a disciplinary investigation, and they also released a statement in which they said, "Acknowledge and appreciate our players' public apology, and will use this as an opportunity to educate." And speaking of this incident, Enzo Maresca said, "I don't think there are any bad intentions behind it. Starting from that point, for me, it is quite easy. The player already did a statement apologizing. The club did the same, so there are not many things to add, but the only thing I can say from my point of view that I can add that they're all young with good intentions. Good guy, good person, good human being. There was not any bad intention." So interesting approach there from Enzo Maresca. When also speaking about this, he asked if he felt update when he was asked about the team spirit and how it could be affected from this. He said, "I don't think so, to be honest. Probably it is the immediate reaction, but all in all, I don't think so. I spoke with Enzo, but as I said, I spoke with all of them. The situation is quite clear. He did already a statement apologizing. The club did the same. So I think there's a little bit of a lack of accountability from Enzo Maresca, saying he had no bad intentions, but in the fact that he never really calls out exactly, what he did was wrong. And I think that was actually wrong, that he just came out and, not said anything about it, because you can't say it's not a big deal. I mean, you can say it's not a big deal, right? But I understand trying to diminish the situation, but why not condemn the action? Why not condemn the action and say it's unacceptable, but he knows he's a good guy, but we know he's a good guy. It's unacceptable what he said. Education is important, blah, 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 blah. Say something of that sort, but the way he said it, this a little bit alienates, the French players, in my opinion. If I was hearing that as a French player in the locker room, I'd be a little bit frustrated, but it is what it is. I don't think it's a big deal. Diego Luna, he's open to a Mexico switch after he was snubbed as the U.S. On the U.S. Olympic team. Real Salt Lake midfielder Diego Luna was discussed and opened up and said he's open to making a switch to represent Mexico after he turned down a chance to be an alternate on the U.S. men's Olympic roster, which I don't blame him for. He's much better than some of the players that they took. Luna, he's born in California, but he's also eligible to represent Mexico through his parents. But he's been involved with U.S. soccer youth programs. He played in U17, U20 teams, and he actually played a senior call-up in a friendly against Slovenia, which doesn't cap-tie him. He has never appeared for Mexico in any sort of way. But he's definitely not ruling that out. When Luna spoke with sources, he said, "I've never closed down any doors. For me, it's continuing to perform and who's going to give me the best opportunity. I know there's some changes going on at the Mexican Football Federation, U.S. Soccer too, but there are some big changes going on, so we'll see what happens there." It's interesting. When Luna explained that he rejected the opportunity in order to Luna explained why that he rejected his opportunity so he can remain with his MLS team and continue to work towards work with the club. He said there's a lot of things that go into deciding to turn down being an Olympic backup. Some people from one side say something and from another side saying another, but no one is behind the human and mental aspect. For me, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that affected my decision, but basically it was being away for 6 or 7 games that can change my career. I'm in good form and playing well. My team is at the top of the league, so if we continue to do that and I play well, the options are endless. It was a decision I had to commit to, and I did. Mazraoui. Manchester United are targeting Bayern Munich's Nusser Mazraoui. Manchester United are looking at a number of right backs, including Mazraoui. And this move is highly depending on the likes of Wan-Bissaka does leave Old Trafford. Mazraoui, he's one of the names that's been under this consideration. There's also the likes of Jeremy Frimpong, but it seems like Mazraoui will be the easier transfer to pull off, with the 26-year-old is most likely going to be allowed by Bayern to leave if they're able to match a evaluation. United just completed the transfer of Lenny Yoro from Lille, but they also want more defensive additions during this window. They still have high interest in Matthias de Ligt, despite the fact that that Bayern Munich want more than 42 million euros. And yeah, United, they're considering offers for Wan-Bissaka. There's been interest from Galatasaray and West Ham, and they want a fee of around 20 million euros. The 26-year-old only has 1 year left on his contract at Old Trafford, so it does make it a little bit tricky. So yes, Mazraoui is a part of Manchester United's long list of right backs to come in, and that's obviously depending on whether or not they're able to move off Wan-Bissaka, which it'll be interesting. That's a big loss of only for 20 million though. I forgot how much it was, but I know it was a high number that they played for Wan-Bissaka. Again, English tax. De Gea, he considered retirement over Erik ten Hag as he finally is closing in on a next club. De Gea, he parted ways with Manchester United at the end of the 22-23 season after spending over a decade at United. United weren't able to offer him a contract extension. Or they did offer a contract extension, but it was nowhere near what De Gea wanted, so he left the club. He's been a free agent since then, despite getting offers from La Liga clubs and Saudi Pro League clubs. According to sources, De Gea briefly considered retirement, and after leaving the Manchester United team, he felt hurt by how Erik ten Hag mistreated him, and the player reportedly revealed that the manager and then the football director John Murtough was responsible for him leaving United, and that he would consider returning to football if and when the duo left. Now, the player is expected to drop an announcement on his future in the coming weeks. There's reports coming that there's interest from the U.S., Saudi Arabia, MLS, Saudi Pro League, and Spain. And, he's still going to continue to play, and it'll be interesting to see what his next move will be. So, yes, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.